This video, I'm going to talk about things you need to know to travel to Cuba as an American. For those of you who've been following my work, you may realize that I've been 5 times since December 2016, when Obama was still in office and had lifted the restrictions. I've been to Havana 3 times and Santiago twice. I have other videos on this page, on this YouTube page, and my other one, The Body Scientist 81, talking about different things about Cuba. So make sure you check those out. But in my 5 trips, there are a lot of things that I've observed and just thought of things that's important to know as an American, because a lot of people think that they can't go there now. A lot of people are scared. They're afraid of getting in trouble. And then with Trump in office and him trying to make the restrictions tight again, a lot of people got scared. So I'm going to just talk to you about that, how I go, how you can go, and things that you need to know. So first off, the first time I went was December 2016, and I went to Havana by myself for 2 weeks, and I went JetBlue. My ticket was $99 direct from JFK to Havana, and I booked a place to stay on Airbnb. I booked an apartment to myself for like $20 a night. And when the apartment that I booked, it was an Afro-Cuban actress who was out of town, and I was staying in her apartment, and her aunt was next door. Her aunt was watching over everything. In Cuba, there's always somebody. If you rent something on Airbnb, there's always a family or a person that is next door or downstairs or something that's watching over. It is a very safe place to be. You don't have to worry about people kidnapping you. Usually, what I've always done is your Airbnb guest can hook you up with a taxi from the airport. So if you know you're going to arrive on a certain day at a certain time and you book the Airbnb, you can have the Airbnb host send you a taxi, which is recommended because you've already negotiated what the price is. They know exactly where you're going, because the addresses in Cuba are not easy to find. People don't use navigation. People have addresses, but they really aren't. Like in Santiago, I've been to Santiago 2 times and Havana 3 times. Santiago's on the other side of the island from Havana. So it's like the distance of like Miami and DC. That's how far away they are. In Havana, there's street signs, but they're like written on rocks. Like whatever street number you're on is written on rocks on the ground. So if you're walking around or you're driving around, you can't, like when you're driving around, you don't see street signs. You have to like go to the corner and look at the rock. And even with that being said, people, taxi drivers and stuff, they don't know addresses. So you can tell a taxi, you can go somewhere, you could be in a neighborhood called Venado, go to Old Havana, give the taxi in Old Havana your address, and they have no idea where you just came from. So you have to pay attention to where you are, where you came from, landmarks. But in Santiago, I never saw a single street sign once. The 2 times I've been there, I never saw one street sign anywhere. So it's good to have a taxi. The Airbnb send you a taxi, because that taxi will know your Airbnb. They'll bring you directly there. So that's recommended. When going to Santiago, because Havana is the easiest place to go. It's just you fly directly into Havana, easy breezy. Santiago, which is also a really dope city, but it's on the other side of the island and it's far. When I've gone there, I flew into Holguin. The only airline that flies to other parts of Cuba besides Havana is JetBlue. JetBlue flies to 4 different parts of Cuba. And to get to Santiago, I flew into Holguin. And in Holguin, they're very serious and militaristic. When you fly into Havana, they really don't care what you're there for. They don't even ask you what you're there for. When I went there in December 2016, the only thing they asked me is, do you want me to stamp your passport? And I didn't mind, because I knew I wasn't doing anything wrong. It wasn't illegal. But that's it. They didn't ask me what I was there for. The first time I went to Santiago, which was spring of 2017, when I flew into Holguin, the first thing they asked me and my friend's a Haitian girl from Miami, they asked us both if we had come from Brazil. No, I have a USA passport. I didn't have any Brazil stamps, but they asked both of then I remember the customs agent asking me if I was there for tourism, and I said, no, I'm there to study dance. And he looked troubled, and he told me to step out of line and go back behind the line, very serious, and I stood there for about 15 minutes, not going to line, maybe 10 minutes. And then he pulled me back, and he said, well, this is a tourist visa, so if you're not here for tourism, that's a problem. And I was confused because every article said Americans are not allowed to go as tourists. We have to have a reason. One of the reasons in this drop-down box of reasons that come down when you book the flight on the airline. I think American, Delta, Southwest, Spirit, whenever you book the flight, there's this drop-down box to ask you. And there's things like religious activities, athletic activities, journalistic, which I've heard people say you shouldn't choose journalistic because you have to get a special journalism visa. That's what I've heard. I don't know how true that is because when I went to Havana this June 2018, my dad was with me. He is a journalist. He did check journalism, but nobody asked him for a journalism visa. Nobody questioned him. But again, we flew into Havana where they don't care. I don't know what would have happened if you flew into Holguin. But there's also people to people, which means that you're coming to bring gifts for Cuban people. You're coming, I think it's people to people and then support of the Cuban people. I think they're similar but two different things. People to people means that you're coming to bring gifts and stuff like that. And so, and learn about the culture and stuff. So I was going to Santiago to study with a dance company, Katumba Folklore Dance Company, which is a well-known folklore dance company in Cuba that I've wanted to study with for years, that do a variety of Afro-Cuban dances, some of the lesser-known ones. And so I was in contact with a woman who set everything up, who was in Cuba. So even though I had that, this time when I flew into Santiago, my mom was with me actually, and she went through customs no problem. Then here comes me. As soon as they looked at my passport, took my photo, they immediately told me to just go back out of line, go back behind the line, and they didn't say why, they didn't ask me any questions, and I didn't, and they had a very serious thought about them. So then this man came and took my passport from the customs agent, and still didn't say anything to me, and he tells me to go sit against the wall where there was two other women, and I'm like, okay, and so there was a white girl who was there before me. She got pulled in, she was questioned. And I saw that she was being questioned, so I knew, okay, I'm going to be questioned. So then, when they were done with her, they pulled me into the room, and they started questioning me. And they started asking me what I was there for, and I told them, the dance company. They asked me who I worked for, where I worked in the United States. They asked me if I brought gifts for the Cuban people, if I had people waiting for me on the other side. And I said no to both of those questions, which I probably should have said yes. But I said no because I was kind of scared. I didn't know, to be brought into a room and questioned, and then their vibe was so serious. And I wasn't lying. I was coming to study with this dance company. I said nobody was waiting for me because, I don't know, I got scared and thought, well, am I supposed to say no? But then I thought after the fact, it probably been better for me to say yeah, because there was somebody waiting for me. And that was the truth, that there was. So, yeah, they asked me all these questions, and then they said, well, people to people is really people who are coming to learn about our culture, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, I am. That's what dance is about. I don't know, but they did let me through. It was a little scary, because I would have hated to have gotten sent back. But again, in Havana, they don't ask you anything. Holguin, they do take it more seriously, but again, they didn't ask my mom anything. And my mom said it could possibly be because the frequency of times that I've been there, and it could be that. But I do recommend going to Holguin. To Santiago. So if you go to Santiago, it's a 2-hour taxi drive from Holguin to Santiago. And it costs like $90 to $100 for that taxi ride. When I went last year, I was with two other friends, so we paid $30 each. And 2-hour taxi ride. It's really beautiful. You're riding through the country, beautiful countryside in Cuba. But, so when you do that, a lot of times if you're going to Santiago, the Airbnb may not be able to get you a taxi because it's so far. So in that case, it may be better to get it at the airport. But just make sure that you have the phone number of your Airbnb person, which they probably will give it to you, because you will need to probably call them when you get to Santiago if your driver can't find the place. And I recommend having your driver call from their number and you not calling from your phone. I recommend not using your phone in Cuba. Maybe there's some way to do it, but you are risking the chance of coming back with like a $3,000 phone bill. So I would just put my phone in airplane mode and not use it. Maybe somebody else has some other advice, but that's what I would say, just to be sure you don't end up with these crazy bills. So the other thing when you're going to Cuba is, okay, so yeah, you buy the visa at the airport. So whatever airline you book your flight on, the airline will say the visa at the airport before you get on the plane. So you don't have to worry about going someplace extra to do that. Depending on the airline you fly with, the visa is different. Like, it's a different price. So in JetBlue, it's $50. But in some of the other airlines, it's $75 to $100. I think Spirit might be $100. I think American or Delta might be $75. I'm not sure. But look into it. I just know that JetBlue is $50. And I did fly Spirit once, and I think it was $100. So, and you get that at the airport right before you want to get to the airport early because you have to go through a special check-in process for Cuba. But nobody makes you give any papers to prove anything. Now the 5 times I've gone. The other thing is, so you can just go online and book your tickets. Of course, you need to have a return ticket before you get on the plane. They will not let you get on the plane if you do not have a return ticket. Once you're in Cuba, you cannot get more money. So you want to make sure that you come with all the money that you need, because I'm telling you, nobody can wire you money. You can't get money out your ATM. They also do not take US dollars. So if you happen to run out of Cuban money and you have some American money and you're thinking that somebody might take it, they will not take it. That's nothing to them. It's not like in Costa Rica they'll take American money, maybe some other places, but not in Cuba. Also, there are 2 currencies in Cuba. One for tourists, which is called Cuba, and another for local Cubans, which I'm going to call them pesos, but I think it's called like Cuban national money. The Cuba, about 1 Cuba is about the value of $1 US. And when you exchange your money, I don't know what the exchange rate is, I just know I always lose a big chunk of money. Some people say that you should change it into euros, change the US dollars into euros first and then to Cuban money, but when I went in January of 2017, one of my friends did that. He changed his US money to euros and then exchanged that into Cuban money, but he actually seemed like he lost more money than if he had left it in US dollars. Even though some people recommend to change it into euros. I don't know, I don't understand all the money exchange stuff, but I just know that you do lose a chunk of money, a good chunk of it, when you exchange. You might want to do research into that. But the Cuban national money, their pesos that they use, 24 of their dollars equals 1 of our dollars. So 1 Cuba equals 24 of their dollars. So when you're in Cuba, things are in 2 different currencies. Some things are written in Cuba, some things are written in their money. And it can be really confusing at first. And some people may try to scam you, especially in Havana. Like, it's probably going to happen at least once. So I suggest that you study the money, because the Cook and the pesos don't look the same. And I know, but it can be confusing at first. And the thing that I think I discovered was that on the Cuban national money, I think it says BCC. I have some money. So this is Cook right here. It says $3 in Cook. Right here. You see? That's $3 in Cook, which is tourist money. And then this pesos, I don't know if you can see, it says BCC on it. And that BCC is the Cuban national money. I don't know what BCC stands for, but when you see that, that's one way that you can distinguish between the Cuban national money and the Cuba. But it's good to understand the difference, because if you pay for something that's in Cuban money and you pay for it in Cuba, they may not correct you. So maybe something is supposed to be $3 in their money. You pay $3 in our money. They may not correct you if they're really nice and if they're really nice and they want to be honest. They will, but some people won't. So you want to know the difference. But if it's the other way, if something is $3 in Coop and you try to pay with their money, they're going to tell you because that's way too little. Because again, 24 of their dollars equals $1. I don't know what happened to the light. I think my camera went out. And also, so understand that. Then when you see prices, like in Santiago, most things are priced in their money because there's not a lot of tourists in Santiago, but still some things are in Coop. But if let's say you see something, let's say dinner. You see dinner someplace and it says it's $30. If it says it's $30, then that means it's $30 in their money. Like if you can see like a little place, it's like a little hole in the wall. It's like chicken and rice and beans. It's $30, $25. That's $25, $30 in their money, which is $1 and change, huh? If you see, like a lot of times, like when you're walking around, there are these cafeterias, which are basically little stop, like little fast food things. And people stop and get something to drink, and they don't have to go cups. It might be like a glass. Maybe like a glass of juice, and you have to stand there and drink it. You can't get it to go, and it'll say $2. It will say $2. That is $2 in their money, not our money. So the more you're there, you start to get the hang of that. And so that's gonna be really important because nobody has ever screwed me over in Santiago, but they have in Havana. Always happens to me at least one time in Havana. Okay, so understanding the currency, which also shows you how smart they are, because Cubans themselves are calculating between two different currencies all day long. Okay, I'm trying to get this light down. Okay, good. Yeah, they are calculating between two different currencies all day long, which is a lot of math. Sometimes you might pay for something in Coop, and they give you back their money in change. Or you might pay for something and their money and they give you back Coop. So you need to understand that conversion and really pay attention, and it could be confusing. So it's going to work your brain that way, and your brain's also going to be worked with people speaking Spanish to you all the time, because Cubans love to talk to you, and they're intelligent people, so they don't talk to you about dumb shit. Like, they have serious conversations. I don't suggest going to Cuba with zero understanding of Spanish. The more Spanish you speak, the better. Because people don't speak English there. Even when people tell you, oh, my cousin speaks Spanish or my daughter speaks Spanish, a lot of times they really don't. Speaks English. They'll tell you that somebody in their family speaks English, and usually they don't. Like, every time I've been told that, I speak more Spanish than they speak English. So Cuba it's a great place to go if you want to work on your Spanish, because you will be forced. Not just because you have to speak it, but because people are going to talk your ears off wherever you go, and they're going to demand that you have a conversation with them. Another thing, let me see. What else about going to Cuba? Make sure you bring an umbrella because it rains like every day. It's the tropics. In Santiago, it especially rains every day. But when I was in Havana in December, it didn't rain that much. But when I was in Havana in June, it rained like the world was coming to an end every single day. And sometimes for long periods of time. It's also a walking city, just like New York. And people are super fashionable. And me being from New York, I love a fashionable city. And there's not many cities I go to where I feel like people fly. Like people that fly in New York, people that fly in Detroit. The people that fly in Havana and Santiago. In Havana and Santiago, they have their own unique style. They're not trying to be like anybody else, but it's still. And they wear a lot of sneakers. The sneaker game is on point. Which is really interesting and amazing because I don't know where they get this stuff from, being that they're so cut off. But they have some dope stuff, and they're colorful, and their hairstyles. The black women love braids. You see black men with locks. I've never seen black women with locks because I think they probably just don't know how to do it or whatever. But you see a lot of black women with braids. You don't see black women there trying to put wigs on all the time and bleach their skin. And some of the blackest people I've ever seen in my life have been in Cuba. And they don't have a skin bleaching problem like a lot of other parts of the Caribbean and Africa, which also speaks how intelligent they are in their sense of self. I do recommend downloading Google Translator. Definitely do that, and make sure you download the offline version because otherwise it won't work. And you have to do that before you get there because the internet there is so slow that you cannot download any apps or any large files, photos, and videos. Trying to download them, send them, upload them is like practically impossible. Maybe before you get there, ask your Airbnb host where the nearest Wi-Fi is, because the Wi-Fi is usually outside in a park. This last time that I went, when I was in Santiago, I had Wi-Fi at the place I was staying, which is very rare. But even then, you still have to pay for it hourly. Like you have to buy a card, you have to pay. In the past, I would pay like $2 to $3 for an hour card, and you have to go to the park. It's not at internet cafes or restaurants. You have to go to the park, which sucks. And then you have all these people in the park trying to get on the internet, and it's so slow. So you don't want to go there with any like real heavy important work that you need to do on the internet. And initially, like I remember the first time I went in December 2016, when I first got there, I went there for 2 weeks by myself. When I first got there, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like when I realized that nobody around me spoke English, but they're very talkative, and that as a woman, there's no way I'm going to walk down the street. I'm not going to have so many men talking to me. Just like in New York, and you can't just go on Google Maps and say, where am I and where is this, and let me Google that and let me find this. Can't do it. You really have to remember where you came from, because a lot of people don't know your address. The addresses don't really make sense. A lot of parents don't know. So it challenges your brain in so many ways, and at first it was like this shock of, oh my God, but then I got used to it. And there was a time when we couldn't just text each other all the time and call each other all the time, and we were fine. But now it's like we can't imagine how we function that way. And depending on our age, some of us may not even remember that time. Hold on. But it's really amazing in Cuba because the kids play, they get along. I don't see kids bullying each other, crying, fighting, nothing. It's really amazing, and then they're very smart. Another thing about Cuba is that when you go, you have to have Cuban health insurance, but that's automatic. When you pay for your ticket, $25 goes towards Cuban health insurance, so you automatically have that, whether you know it or not. And when you're on the plane, on the customs form, they ask you if you've been sneezing, coughing, or congested in the past few days. And they ask you if you've had those symptoms or if you've been around anybody who has, which I find to be kind of interesting. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if you say yes, they're going to say you can't come in the country. I don't know. I don't know if they're asking that because they don't want people flooding their medical system, because people know they have good doctors, and they do, and I will do another YouTube video about that. I don't know what that's about, but I always check no because I don't want any problems. They also ask you if you have porn with you. Don't know what that's about. Don't know if porn is illegal, but I know that there are lots of bookstores in Cuba, and they sell books about all kinds of serious and interesting topics. But I've never seen anything that looked pornographic. So for all I know, porn may be illegal. They may not have access to it, and I wonder that because I think that sucks to not have access to pornographic material or erotic material at all. But that may be the case. I'm not sure. So if any of my YouTube followers knows anything about that, please chime in and let me know. Let's see, I'm losing my light. I think I might have said most of what I need to say. Make sure you bring sneakers, because it's a walking city, and you're going to walk a lot. People walk a lot, and there's no way around that. Even when people are out dancing salsa, they don't have on heels and stuff like that, which makes sense to me because I never felt like a lot of women act like they have to wear heels to dance salsa, and I've always said you don't need heels to dance salsa. Salsa is a Congo-derived dance, comes from the Congo, comes from it's an African-derived dance where African dances are done barefoot, not with heels. So you can definitely dance salsa with no heels, but you're going to be walking a lot. It's hilly, so be prepared for that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to say. Don't take any pictures of the police because that's illegal. The police, they look like the military, but don't take photos of them because that will get you into trouble. Don't eat any place where the food is like $12, because in Cuba you can get, Santiago is cheaper than Havana, but even in Havana you can get a meal for $4, $5, $6. Any place in Cuba, any place that says that the meal is $12, $13, it's not going to be good. It's not even like it's more expensive and it tastes good. It's like more expensive and it's not good. And there's always a Cuban who will see you in the street looking lost or looking, they can tell you're not from there, and they're going to try to tell you, oh yeah, you're hungry, come over here, let me take you to this place, it's really good. And they'll lead you to some place that is a tourist trap, that is where the meals are $12 or $13. Sometimes there's nobody there, and if there are people there, they're all tourists, usually white ones, but they're all tourists. And the food is mediocre at best. So I would suggest not eating at any place like that. It's always, and even though I know this, I feel like I get caught up in that trap at least once when I'm every time. I definitely recommend going to Santiago. You can check out my other videos in Santiago de Cuba. Havana is dope. Santiago is dope. I love them both. But people tend to just go to Havana. I highly suggest checking out Santiago as well. Like, just think about the U.S. Like, you have so many dope cities. You know, you have New York, you have Atlanta, you have New Orleans, you have Chicago, you have Miami, you have LA, you have San Francisco, Oakland, Hope Bay, Houston. You know, all those cities have different flavors and different aspects of black culture. The same thing is true in Cuba. It's also a good place to go if you're an interracial couple or interracial group of friends, because Cuban people in Cuba are very tolerant. You see mixed couples, mixed groups of friends. They're very different than the ones in Miami. I hate the Cubans in Miami. They're racist assholes. I never experienced blatant racism until I went to Miami. Totally different, like night and day. It's kind of like the Obama-loving Americans and then the Americans that love Donald Trump. Totally different. So I think that I might have said everything I need to say about notes on going to Cuba. I can't remember if I forgot anything. I'll make a part 2. If you guys have any questions that I didn't answer that you would like to know, just drop them below and I will put them in a part 2 of this video. But definitely visit Cuba while you can, because it's a great country, it's beautiful, it's safe, really intelligent people. One of the few places on earth where you don't have to worry about getting shot. Kids aren't shooting you, kids won't shoot you, people aren't going to rob you. People have a good sense of history. The only thing is that I'm not that crazy about the food. And I did an IG live about that earlier that I couldn't save, so I'm going to have to re-record that video. And I'll actually post that on my other YouTube page, Body Scientist 81. I'll do another in-depth video about the food. But yeah, check out my other videos on Cuba, and if you have any questions, make sure you ask them below. Alright, have a great day, people. Thank you for listening. Bye.